right, well, we're going to a map 3. We got a series here on our hands. If Thinking Men are going to get relegated, Lemon, I mean, they're going to go out kicking and screaming, that's for sure.
They sure are screaming, man, because that last map was so exciting. Going to overtime, really starting to come back near the sort of end of that first half to just trading blows back to back on the second half. Major plays from both sides. I hope we get more of that in our map 3.
I hope so too, but you know what? At the same time, I kind of don't. Just because I feel that Thinking Men were able to throw, win that map thanks to Scrubble Bubble and to Paint at that point. For the last couple of rounds, if it wasn't until the round number 22, 23, and even 24, where Scrubble Bubble was able to get all those picks, actually it was 22 and 23, when he got through the Viper's Pit, when he got the other 3K by just getting a north right here, and then getting another one later on, and then also Paint on how he played towards the overtime, you needed a lot and huge heroic plays coming out of those two players in order for Thinking Men to pull out that victory in the end against Together We're Terrific. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen similar things, even looking at OXG yesterday, when Vernal won like an ace clutch, and then you had Dapper win a 1 versus 3 on Sunset that pushed this into a third map. You can't let that happen, because it shows how players and teams could run out of gas going into the third map. And you're playing Breeze on top of that as a third map after, where, you know, Together We're Terrific are so good on that map as well. This is still going to be a very, very difficult map for Thinking Men. They just have to really fire all cylinders and not just have Scrubble Bubble and Paint carrying them through.
Yeah, I feel like this has to be a momentum building map. Kind of like, all right, guys, like, we can in fact do this. Like, Lotus aside, we can win the map. We can come together for that, and then be able to see that momentum kind of carry over to Breeze, because this was just the first hurdle they had to get over. And despite the fact that it's great that they won here, Jen, in all honesty, when we're looking at a 15-13 and looking at how close it is, it is still so difficult for Thinking Men fans to kind of celebrate.
Yeah, like, this was Thinking Men's comfort pick, and yeah, they go toe-to-toe against most teams, but to take this only 15-13, now how are they going to do on a more neutral map like Breeze, which is our decider? TWT are 1-1. They won against Core. They lost against MXS. They play off of more of the Astra KO, while as Thinking Men, they lost this to MXS, but 13-5. Like, they got stomped. I feel like TWT had a better showing against MXS, whether that's sort of a litmus we want to use, and the different smokes that are going to be happening, more based on a Viper in that case.
Yeah, and the biggest thing now going into this third map is, yes, as much as I was talking about players and teams that could get deflated when you had players that were pulling out like all stops here from heroic plays over at Thinking Men, it could be very similar things though for Together We're Terrific, right? Kempeki had to come out huge in some plays. There was a little bit of miscoordination coming out as well from how Together We Are Terrific wanted to play those trap plays in the later half of that first half. If that continues on in that type of style, that could actually punish them in the third map as well. Will, I think, would probably play Jet at this point going back into the third map, so I'm hoping that he could also once again bring a lot of value. We talked about that consistency that he brought in that previous week despite their loss against MXS. Hopefully that could be the same type of Will we're going to see this time around to really fight back now against Paint.
I'm definitely like looking at the last time that they played over on Breeze, and the fact that both of them took the loss to MXS, and kind of comparing, but I have to also give teams credit too that we've gotten to see a lot of growth and a lot of change throughout just stage 1 week after week. So I think, Jen, when we're kind of hitting Breeze this time around, we got the information on the agents, but honestly, it kind of could go either way in my opinion. I think TWT are still a bit favored, all things considered, but it's anyone's game.
Yeah, if TWT are going to stick to that double controller off the Astra and the Viper, then it's up to Thinking Men if they're going to run the solo controller and double initiator. How much information is someone like Lear going to get off the Sova? That's what we saw from him on Breeze last time. Breeze is such a large map. You got to have the right lineups, which even then they could be easily shot. And then your dart gets no value. Your owl drone, are you following up with it? What are you really getting from it? It all depends on if TWT even expose themselves to a drone. So the Sova can be hit or miss on how much impact it has compared to maybe other initiators initiators, but Lear needs to have as much of an impact he had on this map to the sky he had on Vine, because I thought Lear was a tide turner.
Yeah, actually, to continue on to that for sure, because despite me saying how there was 2 players that really stepped up on the last few rounds, being Paint and also, why am I brain farting at this point? Oh, Scrubble Bubbles. There was still that big round that, you know, because it's the name in itself. If you had to call him Anderson, it's a lot easier at this point. No, but jokes aside, that kill that Lear got too when they're trying to push towards him towards the spawn, right? So when he had to step up to the plate, he kind of did. But you want, again, I'm talking about that consistency or a little bit more out of these players throughout the whole map, and not spurts of hero plays coming out here from Thinking Men if they want to win this against Together We're Terrific.
Well, hopefully in these couple of minutes while we've been waiting to get into game, they've been able to talk and figure out a game plan. Because again, if they lose this match here for Thinking Men, they are going to be facing relegation. This is a do or die situation. To even have a chance, their agent select is ready. It's time to head over to Breeze.
And fate is decided here for Thinking Men and TWT. Well, TWT are secured, but they could be the gatekeepers, and we got a Yoru out of Reformed, and last time we saw him on this map, he preferred the Cypher, and to not play Cypher on this map is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at this point when they have an Astra on top of it too, they can maybe use that a little bit more on the stall side instead of playing a Cypher. But also, I like it. Reform going from controller plays to Sentinels play now to Duelist, as we know he could play a Raze as well on Vine. I'm loving it. And Lear's playing the Sova. So double Duelist being played now for Thinking Men. And we have a little bit more of a standard composition as well for Together We're Terrific, although they have a little bit more stall potential, kind of like what they did on that first map on Split. Wait, is it them? There's been too many games that we casted so far. But nonetheless, there's still a lot of stall that they have as they start off on defense and start things off, right? They have an Astra, Viper, and a Cypher on top of that. So to try to gain a little bit more space through these TPs that Reform could pull out ahead of these stars and trips could be kind of huge here on how Thinking Men could enter these sites.
We'll enter our third map shortly, and we love that Thinking Men are just changing up the comp almost every single time they go to a map where we expect them to fall back to what's worked for them, but trying to crack TWT and make them uncomfortable on the picks that they're known for. And now with no Sentinel, we'll see how that defense will go for Thinking Men, but for now it's an attack that's a 1-1-3 split towards A. And at least TWT still have their Cypher, but Neptune's playing on the B side. Don't have that early flash for any aggressive A pull if there is.
Yeah. So I was thinking MXS on Split, but same premise on the double controller and Cypher that are currently playing here for Together We're Terrific on defense. And you already see it, right? They have that wall for the retake. They have Util from Together We're Terrific on that B side to play for traps as Mummies holding all the way back from Broken Wall. And they have a lot of players holding in here towards the halls. The difficult thing for both of these teams is that not playing a Cypher, you're probably potentially going to have to keep one player perma anchored once we get these gun rounds to watch towards window, nest, and also towards halls.
And Vix has eyes on wood door once that smoke clears. Also just listening, which is underrated to do, of course. Thinking Men got the orb. TWT playing all the way at the backside. Got a trip right at where you would play it around B. Got a camera at ladder, so you don't have to take any risks if you're Mame. And this is where the Sova recon is something I want to watch for, and Vix wasn't watching his back, so that means mid is open and Thinking Men gotta think fast, and they are going to get pinged by the recon bolt. And
oh my god,
tries to work off that info and loses to Mame. It's crazy. Just the power of the classic. All types of smokes, cages, a lot of missiles up close, and TWT's retake is miraculously working.
And that's the power as well as the smoke coming down from Pancakes to assist Mame. Yes, there was a one-way that doesn't allow here Mame to get good control towards that right side of the ladder in that little tight nook, but that smoke that he's able to hide inside and use that as an extra obstacle to bob and weave in and out of that smoke to get 2 kills on top of that is huge. And I'm basically brain farting as I'm casting at the same time. I said they were playing hard mode with no Sentinel as I called Mummy on a Cypher, but they do have that trip for mid. So they have stall and also info gathering utility that can be used here for Together We Are Terrific. So in a great spot to start things off on a defense, especially by winning pistol.
Some pressure at wood door there from Thinking Men, and we'll have Lear using a drone, drawing out fire, and Thinking Men wanted to trade off of that, but it's so tough coming from wood door because you're playing on a downward slant, and Thinking Men just get out poked by TWT. You still firmly hold pyramid, but I guess we're not aware that Thinking Men were still holding that mid side. At least the Guardian.
One enemy remaining.
It's true, and Mame pinches from mid, and Lear is pretty shocked.
Yeah. With the amount of times here that you're trying to pinch and push from the mid doors, you always got to be ready for Will, who loves playing towards Shrimp there, out towards that A side. Of course, there's going to be another tech pause every freaking time we're watching Together We're Terrific and Thinking Man, right? after piss around. But jokes aside, though, I do like that it's giving him a little bit of room to breathe and figure things out. And as I mentioned here, Will playing these spots on that pyramid side, they're going to have to use a little bit more utility to crunch him back in that section. It'll still give me a chance to talk about that piss around too, though, that not only did we see a nice smoke coming out from Pancakes onto Mame to give them that extra piece of util to hide under, it's also that wall that we're trying to pull up there from Thinking Man to enter that B site. As soon as Vix was picked out, there was no wall to actually cover out towards tunnel, so it made it a lot harder for Thinking Man to really get the entries inside the B site and get space. So when you're actually leaving your alert behind a little bit, you need to find better timing or better understanding of where Together We're Terrific are currently playing their defensive positions. And it's been a lot now towards this mid doors for the last 2 rounds. And maybe that's because it's been pistol round and converting from the pistol round. But now that they have weapons, at least for Together We're Terrific, I mean, this is the bonus round that they have against Thinking Men's rifles. You might be able to see them fight a little bit better here for Thinking Men on mid.
Anti-Ego wasn't bad from Thinking Men. Like, they had the owl drone come through main, they had a push come through mid, but as soon as they lost that advantage, they came back and caught the defense off guard, but then the pinch came in from mid, as you said, and that's what I think really sealed the deal, giving Mame 3 coming from that B site. So Thinking Men thinking real hard and seeing if they're going to prefer A. And so far, the Sova, not bad. You got the recon was successful on pistols. You had the owl drone that was providing even a distraction, let alone, of course, the information it obviously gives. So I'm liking the Sova so far for sure. Yeah,
the Sova is something very common that we see. I mean, Sova KO would probably even be the most common thing that you currently see in a lineup on a map like Breeze. And actually, interesting enough here, from both Together We're Terrific and Thinking Man, it's one or the other. So we're actually leveraging a lot of the Astra in their composition to be the extra piece of utility that's really going to try to disrupt the anchor play positions around the map and really help for these retakes instead, because now you could isolate, block vision, and section out portions of the map you're trying to retake as a team, or at least try to fight as a team as well as you're playing the attack.
Yeah, Cypher trips that you see, but if you try to like quickly dash into ladder, you might be caught by that too. The camera's gonna be close. Spot the entry as it happens. Trip triggered. And you can see the Cypher of Mame trying to hold their own, and now there's all types of smoke, so Thinking Men have to push together, and they go off the wall, and it's successful for someone like Reformed. Allows the play to go through and for TWT to fall over.
This is what the game is going to look like, chat. So get ready. You're playing double controller, Astras, and Vipers. There's going to be bubbles and walls all over. And it seems that it could be a play for Thinking Man to work more towards this B side, because they are getting a lot of value off the recon dart from Lear behind the util that they're currently using on that B site, right? That was twice now that Mame got pinged out. Maybe they're not, he doesn't really know where that recon dart is hitting unless there's a flash that follows up with it, right? But nonetheless, this is something we're going to have to observe in the later rounds. This round, they have a Dimensional Drift available for Reformed, and they try to enter A and get denied by Kimpeki.
A hole is an option after what Scrubble Bubble could do. Getting to spray through the smoke and carefully push up if he wanted to take control of metal door, but now unsure how Mame is coming through mid. Usually it's been a nuisance, and he's what one TWT, the anti-eco coming through mid, and it's a good shutdown on that flank. Thinking men have the plant too, right on the other side, and all Reform gets caught with this util out. Leaving a 3 versus 2 in the post plant. Now you're getting smoked off the spike, so Thinking men just try and stay stoic as the spike gets tapped a few times. THNK with 3, and the spike was gonna get stuck. Thinking men shut it down.
Yeah, with recon darts, I mean, you're playing lineups towards the end here from the Sova and the Viper. You also have the Suck towards the end, too. The smoke was actually used here by Together We're Terrific to try to block vision so they could at least try to get it halfway. But when you're actually using that in, or you're trying to pop it up, there's just too much util in the post plant from both Lear, Vix, and Scrubble Bubble. There's nothing really that you could do towards the end. So despite them getting first blood for Together We're Terrific to take down Paint, it's that extra piece of util once you are able to get the plant. And that could be the call as well for having a Yoru in your composition, right? He could be the one planning and TP out, and then it could be more post plant plays that you could do. But this is something that Together We're Terrific are starting to understand really early here. You're playing so passively for Thinking Men on these post plants.
The Scrubble Bubble getting 2 in a haul, watching the flank like they're Thinking Men are. I mean, that's why they're called that. They're trying to outread their opponent.
Yep.
Using their smarts to their advantage. Now flashing through mid. Thinking they're gonna take control of that. Ooh, Pancakes just bullets flying by through that door, and the smoke's gonna dissipate. That's where Neptune and Mame could swing out. Kane could get caught from the side and takes a bolt. That is insane. Wow. TWT pushed through wood doors too to take advantage of Thinking Men being out in the open. And then the flash hits Pain. He has a dash out. He's 1 HP. He just can't be involved in the play. Sure, Pancakes gets lucky, but Thinking Men somehow still have the number advantage, but everyone's looking unhealthy.
Yeah, nice little decoy in the end too that allows for these this flash and push into Farzat Bay. But Pink is getting 2 kills is huge, and then Vix is going to be able to hear 1 footstep, 2.
Just freeze on him. Oh, Will wins that. Just the classic dip, I guess. But now 1v2 retake for Pancake. Having at least the smoke on the spike. Pretty split.
Wait.
They can...
Wait, it's a bad star.
Huh? What? Why
Scrubble Bubble didn't put the star far enough to actually suck the diffuser off the spike. When I saw that come down, I was like, wait a minute, this is a little bit too close from the spike. Oh no, what a blunder. What a blunder. That hopefully doesn't convert into a checkmate there and towards the end, but that should not have happened. I mean, Pain at least had some nice shots here and there, but Pancake's getting 2 kills like that with the Sheriff and sticks the spike. Look at this. Oh my God. No. I'm angry. That should not happen.
Thinking Men can't let that get to them at least. Trying to tilt the casters is one thing, but at least don't tilt your own team. Thinking Men heads towards A, make the most out of it, pushing a hull, but losing Paint in the process at the backside, trying to clear the yellow buttons. The spike is dropped deep into the site. And TWT, we got snake bites, they got things all over. They're gonna try and stop the rotators coming from mid. Scrubble Bubble tries to give his team a chance, but 2v4 is quite difficult.
Yeah, and they gotta potentially try to save these weapons so they can use it in the next. Unless they find a great timing, on Castle right now, where you see Scrubble Bubbles trying to catch that push down. I mean, he had the 6th sense understanding that somebody was going to push down, and that was Mame. Decides to walk down towards Elbow and really pinned their opponents here towards middle.
Around this corner, a little bit of a panic.
1 enemy remaining.
Flinch from Neptune. Now 1v3 for
30 seconds
Lear
left.
against someone in Pyramid. 2 HP. This is not good. Even just trying to save the weapon here is going to be tough.
Can't even cross. I mean, he could fight this Viper, but as soon as he tries to pick it up and cross over, there's still Will waiting there with the op. Now you
10
choose
seconds
better.
left.
Holding and saving your weapon at 2 HP. For Together We're Terrific, even spreading across the map, not trying to hunt down the last kill because their economy is also pretty low. So they need these weapons to carry on to the next. But this might be a start of something that's going to hurt here, Thinking Man, in the long run by, again, missing that grab well right by the spike 2 rounds ago. Oh, that's what he's saying. Just like, you should have placed the star at the right spot.
Yeah,
sorry,
I
it's
didn't
been a
even
long day.
realize it in the moment because I was like, oh, it was like Astra v Astra. I was like, okay, nice, smoke, diffuse, and I was like, okay, he's getting pulled. They're gonna spray through this, right? Like I was totally calm, totally believing in this.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Thinking Man, and that's gonna be a very important timeout, as you can see right now, just to reset a little bit how they want to work the map here. I mean, they're still getting great value on this double duelist that they're currently running. This reform Euro is actually creating such a big ruckus around how they're scaling and refighting across the map, especially for mid control. And Pain's finding great value as well in this jet. So the main point for the team is still there for Thinking Man. It's just these slight mistakes that proves to be very costly for you towards the end. And now you have to play catch up on now your opponents snowballing on economy, snowballing on econ. Now you have to fight against an op, which I don't think you've seen Will shoot yet in that previous round. So that might be a new surprise now for the team too, as they're looking to fast hit towards this B side, and Will's moving right into it for the op.
I'm looking at where the trips are, but unfortunately for Mame, he swapped to the wrong side. And Will starts to go up against the ult of Pain. He lives on, and he's got the backup of his team, and THNK got greedy for it. So Thinking Men gonna pivot, and they still have the Hunter's Fury too to clear any lane, whether it's A Hall or wherever you think TWT could be flooding in from. Scrabble against Neptune, and Will, he couldn't get betrayed in time. Mame's already at the wood door, so
You want to fight it?
jump against Scrubble. Takes a bit of damage. Now with the Cosmic Divide, it cuts off the wood door, so at least Thinking Men are protecting themselves and where this pivot could be going.
Oh, they're trying to push him down. Good trade, though, with the Blade Storm.
3v2 on the post plant for Thinking Men, going back to A. Oh, just jumping past the Cosmic Divide!
Oh my God.
And Pain chokes at the end. TWT have evened up the numbers. They've
Big
made
lurk.
this possible, but yeah, this Lurk Vix
player
with the
standing.
backstab. Need a few more shots. Made Mame low enough. 30 HP.
Nowhere to run!
Replenish. Got the Hunter's Fury to stop the defuse. Up close and personally swaps off of it. A big clutch out of Lear.
Yeah, good thing that he waited. If there was an extra step right there, that was, or sorry, if he actually didn't cancel it a split second later, that extra step would have been masked, which would have given a chance there for Mummy to win that 1v1. But good job here for Thinking Men, punishing after losing their first engagement, trying to enter towards this B site. But it's Scrubble Bubble once again, right? Getting that pick onto the KO on one side, putting the wall up, and then allowing here for Thinking Men to just set up on the pulse plan was everything, was huge. And now TWT are stuck on an eco. They're going to have to play Sheriffs, Shorty, Marshall, a stack towards A, fighting towards long-range mid, wall bang capabilities too, because they're understanding that Thinking Men are doing these late pivots now towards mid. And yeah, Thinking Men are just choosing to decide correctly this time.
Ooh, and Mame gets locked in by the snake bite placed right behind him, and a wall in front of him too. So good opening pick by Thinking Men and a plant. Now with rifles at range, looking pretty chalk. But hey, Sheriffs can do work. But the Owltron is gonna spot the timing of this. Smokes from Scrubble too are gonna lock in TWT. At the end here, Pancakes goes in alone. They're all types of mixed up. Thinking Men playing together, and they take the round.
Yeah, good way to tie things up, and especially with keeping 4 players alive now for Thinking Man against the lower buy that you have for Together We're Terrific. Not too much damage has been done at this point. You have to actually take down bodies on top of that with you for Together We're Terrific to actually get good value off the eco that you actually just came out with on that previous round. So this calls out an early timeout. this time around for Together We're Terrific, just to try to figure out what they could do around this buy. But I'm mistaken, maybe I saw Will with an op. I could be wrong with that one as well, but we'll see once we get back in the server. But he's actually getting some good value out of these early pushes for picks. That last round, he actually went for a gamble push outside of A main with the Sheriff and saw nothing there. So there's great opportunities so far for Together We Are Terrific to work out of at least one side of these extremities and getting good value / punishment against their opponents out of that. So I think they might continue on with that, especially when they have a KO in their composition instead of playing with a Sova that you have on the other team. This now allows for you to do these pop flash peaks. That's very, very common that you see from this type of Jet / KO combination, that there's not the same type of answer you could get out of Thinking Men because of their own comp, right? They could maybe do like a recon dart, but the Euro flash is going to be a little bit off. Well, actually, we could potentially see that happen. Look at these pings. Will only has a Vandal though, but they still have an opportunity to go for a KO pop flash for Will to try to swing out here.
Right here.
I was wondering how Mame was going to adjust too. He's going to play further back. But yeah, last round he had a shorty, so ideally playing close. But now he's got the support of Pancakes in that regard. But this also maybe weakens TWT's hold of A, who are even going to extend past, looking to get sights on Orb. But this frees up A Hall, stacking those sites so heavily, leaving the middle of the map open.
Yeah, the thing is though, the forward positioning from Kempeki hurt the rappel of the rope, so they know that there's somebody in halls. Yes, the vent got broken and they dropped in that area. Not broken, but of course, they could still anticipate paint that's currently in this position.
Oh! Whoa, paint! Oh, you made those two look silly. A Hall means A-Hall control for Thinking Men, giving some comfortability towards an A hit. Kempeki has to go big, and even popping the Viper Pit wouldn't be bad, but maybe this isn't yet time, and the shots are just better. Double kill versus double kill. Defense up by 1. Oh, Reform. Grab the spike using the ult. Try to escape away from Kempeki, and they paint. Now 3 with that
30
round.
seconds left.
Leaves Reformed all by himself. Who's not even going to shift to a different side. He's going to play with two defenders on the other side. Now is to play this dance against Mame and Pancakes, who work well together to get the defuse.
That was what a nice answer back here to Together We're Terrific. Paint so far in these double kills on the entry is so good, but then somehow his teammates couldn't follow behind that as they were trying to split back towards the A side from mid. And again, this is despite them losing these players on the top of the A halls. Together We're Terrific knows that there's a lot of pressure towards the mid usually in these rounds coming out from Thinking Men. So yeah, they lost their players over there, but they could still fight back in those other angles, and they win it in their favor. So there's no TP for Reformed. Again, TP out to try to plant towards the B side. He got caught there on a 1v2 towards the end. And now a little bit of a change of pace though for Thinking Man. They have an op on the attack, and they're going to try to use that for clearing out A halls to start, while the rest are doing the same thing. Recon dart, farm up the orbs to reform, and Together We're Terrific seem to be super okay. Here's that spot flash play. Denied.
Reformed. Good patience there. Even get the ping with the recon bolt, so I'm surprised they got ahead of that, and a great flash catches Kempeki off guard, and TWT are just staggering in to A main, hoping for a first pick, second pick, and they're the ones getting kicked in the face. So Thinking Men now have their options opened, and the round seems pretty secured already as Paint has the op in mid, gets Mame pretty easily. Now Neptune has to hope to save a gun and won't be able to because the party's coming to him. How many can he take with them? Make it 1, gonna readjust. And it's just gonna go right into them. So now we're evened up.
Yeah, threw a molly on the ground trying to make them think he's just trying to delay. I like the idea of trying to run through that, but was not ready for the op. Seems like Together We're Terrific. We're not ready for the op in general there, because that was at least the first free kill onto Mame trying to re-clear towards the halls. And now when I talked about that round where Scrubble Bubble had the star at the wrong place and it was going to prove to be costly, they're able to reset from that, sends that timeout to calm things down and reset for Thinking Men. And they're really regaining the reins of controlling the attack side here on Breeze. Op is getting a lot of value. They're working the map quite well. They're punishing Together We're Terrific on the aggressive non-punishment that TWT were getting at the beginning of this game. So it's now an uphill battle for TWT, at least for the last 2 rounds, especially now that they only have pistols to work with.
That op is chilling mid. Paint tries to be aggressive. Okay, well, looks like the defenders were busy shooting something else, so they couldn't punish. Paint gets 2. At the Blade Storm too, but you know, I'm kind of down with the op.
Yeah, free farming right now. Now they could just keep holding this middle. They keep holding default. They know that Together We're Terrific are trying to push and trying to find information on top of that, especially now that they've lost and they don't have any scan agents on top of that too. The knife is down for Neptune. So they're thinking here that Together We're Terrific are just going to try to walk down and try to get picks. After the minute mark, seeing that nothing's there, they go for the easy setup for the B-side plant.
Good. TWT trying to maybe upgrade some weaponry if they find some more corpses, but at least they're taking different angles. You got tunnel, the elbow from Will. Will's the one who can have the biggest impact here, but he's been spotted by Scrubble, who is going to take the safer play of just set up the crossfire, play at the window. That his team can get ready to trade. Scrubble gets suppressed, and a good turn from Vix to assist. And Thinking Men don't lose any guns. Okay, except those ones. But still, a Thinking Men dub at the end of the day.
Yep, you'll salvage the op. They haven't really need to use the Hunter's Fury yet on the beginning of these rounds. I think Lear had it a couple of rounds back, but they're just winning great plays through eliminations, right? They're not really sweating for these rounds since that round number 7. Yes, they got that round diffused, but again, it doesn't really matter. At this point, they're just winning every single individual gunfights that they don't have to be like, oh crap, let's pull out our Hunter's Fury and try to turn around back in our favor. But they might use it this time though. They have a pit to work with. Could be a basic hit towards this A site, and then use their Hunter's Fury for post plant. You can already see it there, right? Lear is dropping that spike over for Vix so that he could stay behind and he could try to pit into A for this plant. And actually, pitting towards mid doors gives them an even better chance to plant towards this A site, because that keeps one player at bay and focused inside A halls, and there's really only the Cypher holding this this A site inside that pit.
Tripwire destroyed.
Check the right side of the pyramid. So that's what Paint's Blade Storm is going to do. They've cleared that offensive pit right at the entry, so they can fall back into A main, and Paint crosses up Mame. First kill for Thinking Men and the plant. This last round of the half could go their way, depending on how TWT are going to dislodge them from A main. Now they're coming through the top of the side. So much for TWT to clear through the pyramids.
Yeah, there's no way you're losing this. They got to suck this time at the right spot. They got the Hunter's Fury. They're still inside the pit.
Nowhere to run!
Oh, I thought he was going to kill Neptune there. Now you got the Hunter's Fury, just as insurance to deny any kind of diffuse tap. The men are going to continue tapping it, drawing out. Reformed. It doesn't matter. The men just had the better plan.
Yeah. A nice valiant attempt, though, at least for Together We're Terrific. They had the null command to work with to try to cancel out this post plant util that was available for Thinking Man. But you're playing against an Astro, man. You could use those stars from across the map if you want to. So they had great delay capabilities here for Thinking Man. And looking really good at the end of the half, though. So now Together We're Terrific. We talked about it. At least for Thinking Men, they had to pick up a lot of these rounds on the attack, because now they play a hard mode on defense, right? They don't have a sentinel that we talked about before, so they potentially have to keep a player anchored now towards A halls and nest. That could be or Paint with the op or Lear with the Silva util, but you have to be definitely a little bit more mobile across the map, and probably the reason why they have a Euro in their composition to patch up those fast rotates on the gap that they lose here from getting the passive utility of no sentinels.
See how Paint and Vix hold this. Only a wall. Now the KO knife. Trying to detect who's there. Thinking Men suppressing fire. Viper Wall comes up to deny vision, allow Vix to readjust the angle, and for Paint to get into a safer position, and TWT are just not even going to mess with that, because guess who's lurking? It's Mame listening in on A. Yeah.
And they have double controller, so they still have 2 smokes they could work with here for the crossover towards the A site. A decent spot right now for TWT to hurt and work towards the A site.
Standing ahead.
TWT have already made entry. And Mame turns on the Scrubble Bubble, and TWT is playing off pyramids, but Reformed is going to be an issue at this metal door. He has a preferential angle. And then you have Pancake stuck at yellow box, trying to watch backside, but also having the threat of metal door above him. Like, kind of a tough spot for Pancakes to be in. And now you got Lear on the flank, who's successful against Mame. But TWT are just not even going to peek, and this is smart. Just play time, play your lives. Pancakes be able to be escorted out there by Will, trying to use some smoke, and just as patient enough. As soon as Thinkerman show themselves at the door, somehow Pancakes wins that engagement, even being low health. Eventually does get traded, but
standing.
time is favoring TWT.
Remaining.
It's all up to Lear to maybe get on the spike. He's in a 1v1 against Will, who is low himself. Oh, and Will just had the better lineup. He gets 3 that round.
I love that there from TWT. Despite them losing Mame on that 1v1 at long shops, they still had the lurk coming out from Kenpeki. So that means the other 3 players on the post plant that were still alive for Together We're Terrific decide to use a smoke for Pancakes out towards Orange, delay even more, play around that area and focus all 3 players there because they could trust Kenpeki watching a recross from that flanker Lear outside of shops. So nice adjustments from both of these teams. Nice attempt for lurks and backstabs. But it's Together We're Terrific that takes the upper hand. Quick push towards A main.
Oh, it's aggressive. The whole team of Thinkerman gets paced up by Neptune 3. Oh, that's not how the script was going for Thinkerman. But you gambled and you lost. It happens.
Yeah. They tried to potentially, I think, even flash out if they could, but that knife was huge. That knife from Neptune, I think, despite not showing anything, I'm pretty sure it hit all 4 players, which then means they had nothing to flash to fight towards shops. It made it easier for Kenpeki, or should I say Neptune, I think, with that Bulldog to get a 3K transfer. So Vix trying to make sure here that he doesn't give Pancakes an ult. He's just hiding in the corner looking to die to Spike. And Pancakes is going to be 2 away. They might have to do orb control to try to bring out the wall ASAP. But yeah, a great little push there by TWT. A great hold for an attempt of a push from Thinking Men. No value getting out of the full classics. Okay, Pancakes found him. And Pancakes is now 1 away. And that actually could be huge here, Lemon Kiwi, because getting control of an orb and getting a Cosmic Divide to slice off a portion of the map on top of a Kenpeki wall while you're playing a bonus round could be really big against the gun round of Thinking Men.
Here.
Which orb do you go to?
Easier one shot.
Yeah, but then people like to swing out. Or at least the last defense, the TWT like to swing out with 4 people, but I guess this is a different side, so...
Correct, yeah.
No one seems to be leaning towards an aggressive swing. So yeah, Cosmic Divide would be a huge for me execute.
They're grouped up, right? They got the orb here. Cosmic Divide's ready. The wall's not up yet. Actually, the wall was thrown early by Kenpeki towards the B side, so they do have a conditioning wall towards the B site. And with a minute left on the clock, or a minute 15, they could still work around the map and finish on that area to double slice B.
I wonder if Mame gets a pick with the Outlaw if they want to go back to A. But he's kind of smoked off right now, I think. So...
Yep.
He'll just do his thing. TWT going to take advantage of the openness of mid. Even with the camera backing them up to see if there's anyone in Nest. No call there. TWT just quietly making their way towards B, where the first one to catch them would be Vix with the Vandal. Now a drone too. That door's gonna be closed, metaphorically, physically. TWT go towards B. Crossfire there from Paint and Vix. Nest smoked off. It's like
you want 30 seconds left.
Trying to bait out a panic rotate and see who comes out, but now the Cosmic Divide. TWT pivot back to A. Oh, they get flashed up by the Yoru. That's not ideal. Thinking Men coming out on top, holding at the back site. Now going towards pyramids. Scrubble hides in the smoke. 12 seconds left.
10 seconds
Neptune
left.
has the spike and he's going for the plant. Or at least
One enemy
attempting to. Kind of faked it. Now Vic took care of Mame, so Neptune has to do a 1 versus 3. It's a good attempt at the flash.
Taking that back.
Thinking Men now get the lead back.
Very, very, very nice patience by Thinking Men towards the end. Not giving a single crumb for TWT to get anything done in terms of punishing players on early picks, right? You saw that at least the game plan there for TWT was to try to put that smoke up towards the nest, add that paranoia because they're not playing with a Cypher, so they don't have a cam, so they might have a body to peek out to get information towards that B site, and Will had no value on his forward position towards Elbow. So with, what, 20 seconds left on the clock, you're like, well, crap, we have to gamble something, and with no control, no information at the beginning of the round towards B, and most of your players leaned up on an A-side split, they just went for the Cosmic Divide Hail Mary, which ended up being a very nice hold by Thinking Men in the end. Keeps the economy low. They only have a sheriff to work with on one of the players of TWT, but thankfully they have a null command. So that could be another big piece once again to just plow as a group behind this conditioning wall on that B site.
Camera info from Mame, looking down B long. Not really seeing anything, but not like it's difficult if you would. People can just play ladder, play backside, play hidden as you would. TWT already making the call. They want to go through Berlin. Who's going to be pushing Elbow, though? An engagement against Paint could be important. Give yourself another angle into B to pressure Nest, pressure into B tunnel, but there's a lot of eyes and Thinking Men in mid. More than usual. TWT are just going to flood through one angle, one route. Just follow the leader. Now they're just kind of getting harassed by Q-Tail, but they still will get the plant off.
Yeah.
Thinking Men are right around the corner for the retake.
I mean, that was a nice idea. They throw the star on the ground, suck it up, and try to spray through the Viper wall, hoping to get lucky, but you wish you had more bodies.
Thinking Men even maybe getting around on a flank there. Reformed. Important kills. Pain will be late there. It's a great attempt at the flash, but Pancakes converts on 2, which is crazy. TWT can continue to just lay back and watch the action unfold. Watch Thinking Men just line up in their crossfire.
Recovering it.
That's all she wrote.
Triple flank attempt by Thinking Men denied by Pancakes. The flash had good value on at least Neptune and the one playing towards the window. But Pancakes staying tucked behind those boxes at the entrance of the B site, not affected, lines up 2 easy kills. And then just allows here TWT to break the economy for Thinking Men when you thought that they had pretty much the control once again of the map as they got a convincing win off their gun round. But they instantly get their money reset on that previous one from the 4K from Pancakes. Guardian being the best weapon that they have. So they're trying to crunch towards middle. Mame gets all that information. That might be the fast call now. Look at the radar. Everybody's grouping up towards the A side, holding towards the spawn. They know against the eco now. They might try to push from all angles. And they want to try to stay on the death ball to be a little bit cleaner on the trades.
Thinking Men are just getting out of dodge. Stacking A. The only one to maybe limit this push is Reformed. Now he gets found out, so someone has to patrol B elbow. I'm just gonna play off the trips, I guess. TWT are gonna fake that and leave. Place trips just to see if there's gonna be some crazy Yoru flank, but look at this forward push out of Thinking Men that have made their way through a hallway. This could be a good setup, depending on timing. Oh, and Scrubble looks away at the wrong time. The last second. TWT lose one. Finally, those A hallway holders from Thinking Men come out, and somehow Paint jumps out in time, dashes across. Pancakes is just gonna respect that and isolate it. The 1v1-2. Neptune gets the plant down.
Obscuring vision.
TWT have a good setup. They even have Kanpeki playing forward. TWT watching their flank. All depends on these engagements. Performed, stopped, fixed, halted, and TWT get a lead.
You already felt there from how they were scaling back towards the A side that they had some sort of understanding that they could have been pushed out there from Thinking Men, as you saw Pancakes keeping his eye on the A heaven until they finally start getting the openers from mid at the trap, and then really the end for the stack opportunity or gamble from Thinking Men was uncovered and denied. And now the yacht comes out though for the defense, first time on the second half. It took 5 rounds of the second half until they actually muster enough economy for the defensive side of Thinking Men for this off in the hands of Paint. This might be the game changer right here to give a chance now for Thinking Men to come back. But they still haven't posted now towards this B side. Again, they don't have a Cypher, right? So they have to find ways to watch long angles. Jiggle peeks towards main, as you can see from Vix. The up looking straight into a nest push. So that puts such a very passive hold from Thinking Men on middle. And Together We're Terrific has great opportunities to do a lot of mid splits because of that. And they're starting to see it, right? Look at this lurk that you currently have now from Mame on this elbow. Players are pinching now towards this B side. And the late lurk coming out from Pancakes once the engagement starts here towards B.
Could be dangerous for him if Scrubble
You want to
triggers
find
the
it!
trip, and then there's multiple places for Pancakes to look. But hey, if he gets all the attention, distracts over at A, this opens up B side for TWT. But man, this is so stacked by Thinking Men. So TWT gonna put pressure on Nez, come around through B tunnel.
Good blocking vision!
And somehow, Pancakes even made their way through A hall.
30 seconds
So
left.
thinking there's a lot of space. When you have control of Metal Door, you feel a lot more comfortable planting at A, and maybe not so much. Just costed blood, sweat, and tears out of TWT to get established, but a 3v3 is not too shabby.
my world!
Thinking Men now have to deal with a Viper's hits. TWT throwing flashes at the back site. And Vix is quickly trying to get a flank going, but TWT are not going to waste any time. Pancakes gets to play around the perimeter, pop out of the Viper's pig, go back into safety. And Vix and Paint going to play closer together. You just really don't know who could be out of this Viper's pit, who's playing around Pyramid, Metal Door, lots of threats I think men have to think about.
One enemy remaining.
Unwinnable.
The spike was tapped too, so easy for Pancakes to go and clean up, and the round for TWT.
And that's the beauty that you have from having to play against the a non-sentinel on the other side. You have so many different pawns placed across the map. If it's not Pancakes with the lurk, it's going to be Mummy with the lurk if the pivot was going to go back towards the A side. And their goals there at that point from both Pancakes and Mummy is to listen to the rotates coming through when they're starting to make a lot of noise on one end. So you could double pump a lot of these moments for TWT and just finish with a great round in your favor, right? So that was well done for them to read that on that point. And thinking, man, yeah, this is starting to get a little bit dangerous here. They have a potential to go 0-5 in this stage 1. So they're pulling out this timeout. Their last one now available for them as they're trailing by 2. They're trailing behind also by economy. This is going to be a half buy around potential Vandal and Bulldogs that we currently have here from Thinking Men. That's the big call. Will they try to use ultimates off the timeout instead so they could turn it around in their favor? Or are they just going to have the lower buy, play it safe, hopefully get a good trap play and make it expensive against their opponents so that hopefully they could come back in this one once you have Together We're Terrific at 11. But they have to figure out a way here to take more control on middle at this point. Playing passively here is creating a lot of gaps here on how they're working their defense.
Thinking Men also have the Hunter's Fury, so that's always a fun one to retake the space that you've lost. But kind of a stack towards B, leaving Scrubble alone on A. TWT not popping the Blade Storm yet and just taking their time. Shot of Paint and Reform, and Pancakes always seems to deliver on the multi-kills. In these
Spike
difficult
down, B.
engagements, the Hunter's
Deploying
Fury
drone.
tries to take advantage of everyone's positions being exposed, and this causes a scramble, but no kills. Owl Drone discovers there isn't any escape happening through mid, at least not yet.
Big flank.
Oh, and no,
Spike down,
one.
B.
It took a lot of shots, but TWT have been weakened to a 2-man push, and where does it go? It still seems centered around B. They'll bring the Viper wall down.
Last player
Seems to
standing.
be left out in the open. Neptune takes care of Vix. Oh, the flank is no longer an issue, but at the top is Lear with just the Sheriff. And he's nowhere near a corpse that could have a better gun, so this is looking pretty difficult for him to achieve.
30 seconds left.
But the more time that you take here, Together We're Terrific has to clear every single corner because they don't have util to do it. This gives a chance now for Lair to actually get behind enemy lines and pick up that weapon.
Yeah. There's one right there. Now, how far away Neptune is playing? The Vandal come out on top from Neptune. Recon Bolt just to see who would be poking out. Lear still centered on the left, but Neptune shifted to the right. And TWT a few rounds away from the dub.
So now you see the value of what Thinking Man was trying to do with that Viper Wall, right? The pushing it down all the way towards cannons gives a chance for a double elbow push, although they're doing that on an eco instead of trying to do it on a round where they have weapons to work with. And it allowed for the Hunter's Fury to come out, but not get enough. I mean, you're trying to fight with the Sheriffs at that point. Nice little reset, good way for TWT to stay calm in that moment and just capitalize on a round in the end. But look at that. After the timeout, they're going double op. That's the Hail Mary. That is going to be what is called after a timeout for Thinking Man.
And an op, not even an A-hole too. Lear is getting pressured. This is tough. Gonna try and shock bolt close. Gonna do his best to hold. Wait for reinforcements from Reform 2 with the op now holding a hull, but with the smoke, it's kind of annoying. Nonetheless, Thinking Man have done a good job to clear most of A site, leaving Pancakes and Will clutch up against 4. And Lear managed to tag Will at the side of Pyramid. He's slow and hoping to trade out with Pancakes, and now this is looking really tough for TWT.
And all this delay gives a chance now for Vix to go for a backstab. The chances of winning right now for TWT so low.
Planted.
It's the comeback mounting for Thinking Men now that they have a good buy.
Enemy remaining.
They got the excuse last time. 4 kills for Strubble too. Cosmic Divide, Diffuse.
Gonna grab the other off. So they're going to give that diffuse now for Vix so that he can actually start building up these ults. I mean, it might be a little bit too late for him to try to get that in the later rounds, but right now, at least for Together We're Terrific, they only saw Paint with the op. They haven't really seen Reform with the op unless the decoy that was thrown there by Reform gave that play that they're playing double op, but it was never really shot on Yoru's side. So they still have an opportunity to surprise by playing 2 players with an op and anchoring on different corners. But this might be a very similar storyline now to Bind, where Scrubble Bubble is going to start stepping it up in the late game, getting a 4K in that round and really allowing Thinking Man to start to come back in this fight. But Thinking Man, or sorry, Together We're Terrific, they have a lot of money to work with right now, so they have a very healthy gun round in round number 21. And both ops, as you mentioned, it was a bad read where they didn't have the op in halls. This time they put it there, but they have nobody towards B.
You are divided.
Oh god. Blade Storm coming in.
The knife hit him.
No trips to stop and gets flashed and maybe allows Vix to exit safely, but reinforcements, Thinking Man's already ready to deny this plan. All the visual clutter and how does Will find a target? Rings has gone out. Cosmic Divide even messes up the information even more. Will can only see purple. So I guess we'll stick to the side of the field that he can see what. Zombie's gonna help him out. The drone will spot that most of TWT are around wall. Thinking Men is on the other side of these very sturdy boxes. Ready for the push, ready for paint, to paint the walls. But it's Will that comes out on top. It's 3v2 retake. Thinking Men with the op just have to slow walk forward and
Cage trigger.
can't get the pick he was hoping for. Dire situation. Spike about to go off. Mame just couldn't hold long enough. And Thinking Men are starting to close the gap.
Out of bullets for the last few shots to fight against Scrubble Bubble, but who's the one that stands? Scrubble Bubble with the pick and the defuse in the end. Yes, the double op retake looked difficult, but thankfully Paint had Blade Storms to actually close that gap. And yeah, you talked about this visual clutter. I mean, look at that. Interdimensional drift. Spray my body, spray my body. But then there was a Cosmic Divide that allowed here for these players to dance across the whole time and try to stay alive for a bit. Mame tried to save the round with all that information that he's gotten from the hat, but unfortunately not enough. One of those last moments here where the buy is not as healthy for TWT in the next round should they lose this one here. Still a double op coming out from Thinking Man as they managed to string a couple of rounds on their side.
Pancakes gets set up at the door. Tries to pressure out the op from Paint. So Op v Vandal in the A hall. Even a drone just to look past that smoke there. Meanwhile, TWT start to lean towards the B site. And there's that star from Scrubble right at the B gates, and Cosmic Divide on the defense. TWT are gonna take their business elsewhere.
And they're fighting on middle. Again, one of the rare parts that are not being watched in Dash for Space. Vix just spotted them.
Oh, Vix could have taken a shot onto Will, and patience does not pay off in that case. Big double kill by Will. TWT will put themselves on match point, series point. They get away with this. And Paint. The flank was a little too fancy.
That's again, you don't have a sentinel player. You have your pawns set up across, and that's the real value of it that we're trying to explain a couple of rounds ago, right? So he gets this kill on Paint. Both ops now down, and that's Scrubbable trying to move back towards the halls. Once his spike goes out with the last few seconds, you're hoping to God they're able to run through and get this spike, or sorry, get the op for the next round. But Pancake's slowly watching it.
I broke your
Okay,
mirror.
so they might have a chance to save that op, but in the end, you saw the value of how just one single Viper wall on that B side does not allow Reform to get a good line of sight to op down towards middle, and it just flooded the B side, and you never got good position. Now you lose all your weapons. You're praying for that op, now you lose all your weapons for Thinking Men.
At least they didn't get it. Silver lining. No one gets the op.
Yeah, I guess at this point, but you're attack here, so screw it. They're just doing such a good job on the attack, though. They were terrific to just dash in and create that space and just flood against their opponents that you don't really need that op on Mame, or even Will on the attack, as a matter of fact. But yeah, this is not good. This is not looking good here for Thinking Men, unfortunately.
But a big round for Will, who we've highlighted his improvements over the few weeks, actually. I don't know, there's something about being Canadian and being a duelist. I don't know, there's something in Challengers.
Yeah.
Will shows up when his team needed to. And Thinking Men, they've been in more dire spots before. They've come back from worse. I don't know if I'm in mega cope mode right now, but
I think you are.
Yeah.
I think you are. Because unfortunately right now, like the Blade Storm, we heard them. I think we pretty much saw there that they used it a couple of rounds ago there for Thinking Men, so they don't have the Blade Storm to work with. They have such a broken buy. They have Lear only with a classic and a Hunter's Fury. I mean, he's got 2400, so he'll be able to get like a Sheriff and a Marshal, or a Marshal in armor or something like that, at least trying to do a little bit of pop damage so they can get value out of this broken buy that they have. And it's Marshall. There you go. 101 to the chest.
Crystal Ball goes Burr from Vans.
Simple. But yeah, this is all eggs in a basket right now for Thinking Men. Series point for together were terrific. Simple push towards the A site.
Lear getting pressured. This is tough. TWT dancing around the pyramids. Wall for TWT to lock Thinking Men either in or out of the site. Hunter's Fury to deny any plans, to get any information he can.
This.
And the flank for the rotators coming from mid. It's a good shutdown from Paint. Now this all comes down to Pancakes and not. Like I said, Thinking Men have come back from worse, right? Broken by or not.
Yeah, that was actually a very, very nice play there by Thinking Men. Where they didn't really, with the game plan that they had was playing so far back towards the site that they just wanted to make sure that they could fight together. Were terrific on the post plant, but because together we were terrific, have been so good here on the aggression on the A side once they plant. But to focus two players to go back down towards mid doors and support Vix to get that kill onto the rotate, the attempt of alert from TWT on the attack was everything. So keeping it at bay, keeping them at bay. They have full rifles in the last round. No ops for either team. And a chance for overtime once again with Thinking Men backs against the wall.
Investing in a knife too to get that orb. Can Pecky with Pit. Mame lurking at B. Ooh, Paint. Even gonna go past this.
He wins this. He just won the map from that position. Nobody's ever held that before. They don't have a scan agent. They can't Allen drone out. They're gonna jump out and Pain's gonna kill them all.
All right, bet. Handshake. See if it happens. There's still a flash from Neptune and TWT not checking it, but hey, only costed 1. Pain gets 2 and 3.
Yep.
Onto something.
Yep. I think I was onto something there, right? So see you in overtime, chat.
Welcome to my world.
Hey, we wanted another one.
Wait. This is huge. The backstab's huge right here.
Wait,
And they have
Will?
pit for a plant.
3.
Oh,
30 seconds left.
Will is disgusting. William. 2v2. Around the corner. Okay, don't get baited by the Yoru. You know the Yoru's around the corner, though. Plant will ensue. Reformed. Putting shots down. Will playing safe. Pretends smoking and leaping. Reformed so gets splashed and he wins that. Kenpeki has the pit too. He's gonna fall back into
down.
it.
Toxin screen down.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, it comes out! Oh, the trade from Scrubble is so clean. We go to OT.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect it to go in a 1v1 though on the OT, but who better once again than Scrubble Bubble to win that round for their trade and allow Thinking Man to push this to extra innings. And there was a misplay by Kenpeki. He tried to go back inside the pit, but you forget here, chat, in the later patches now, that fuel, it takes a while for it to regenerate. And it goes down quickly, so he missed that timing. The pit had to go down, and he was stout out in the open when Will had 2 beautiful kills like that. And now, unfortunately, therefore, Together We're Terrific, they had to fight the extra innings, and Thinking Men have a chance here to stay alive and not get pushed down to relegation as we're playing Breeze in extra innings.
2 back-to-back OTs. Told you, Thinking Men have dug themselves out of a hole like this before. Now economy is not going to be something you worry about. Neither are ops, but if you want to give up your armor. But Thinking Men seeing who would be drawn out from TWT on that defense. No one biting the bait. Thinking Men don't have someone watching A halls, but they have a Astra smoke at the back. Now mid is open. B tunnels can be pressured, so that Cypher util from Mame may not be an issue there on the wall side, but he's got the camera to spot a B tunnel push. But no info from TWT yet.
And if they want to go for mid control and hit towards this B side, there's still so much util for these two players anchoring up on that side. But Together We're Terrific. So yes, they're playing quite similarly in a sense that they're giving up middle for both of these teams, but because you have so much trap util in these extremities for the sites instead of playing double duelists, that's like your slight upper hand that you have here to deny the hit. But you see the lineup from Lear. He's getting ready for the recon darts. They're going for that hit again towards that B site.
Okay, Pancakes gonna be unable to escape from this position. Snakebite though sort of slows down.
Planted.
Thinking Men from the smoke. Pancakes against Paint. Only one Pain can survive. It's a 4 versus 3 on the post plan for Thinking Men. They got a good spread. They're playing through B main too, and have the Viper's Wall that could come up to make this re-entry more difficult for TWT. Now Neptune wins the Reformed had the preferential swing. But now numbers are limited. Kenpeki and Will. No, they gotta push this wall. Kenpeki from one side. Will couldn't do it on the other, and Thinking Men have the advantage.
Once again, Lear when it comes down to the overtime, and maybe not Paint, but Scrubble Bubble's consistency is huge. I just saw, I think Tanny was mentioning it over there, over at Energy. The Astras are carrying. I just noticed it now. Scrubble Bubbles dropping a 30 bomb. Pancakes is 1 away, but Lear is the superstar so far on that overtime. Give it a chance for Thinking Men to actually win this series against TWT.
Thinking Men 1 away. I would say an upset considering how this series
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Thinking Men from a big deficit now. A lot of noise from TWT going through this A hall. Weight on Lear's shoulders to get a multi-kill, and then they come up at a metal door with... Not sure what the call was, but nobody checked Pyramid, and Reform goes unchecked. Now, TWT fumbling under the pressure. It's a 2 versus 4. Global get the plant.
enemy remaining.
It's very low when he gets denied that. Pancakes in a 1v3.
Defenders win.
Dispatched. As Thinking Men take the series.
Yet! What a round, what a play by Thinking Men. Yes, look how happy Payne is. I'm as happy as I am for this team. Lyra came up huge, but in OT, Thinking Men delivered, and they get their first victory of this stage. Payne is still celebrating, and I mean, you can, man. You definitely can. He definitely really helped here to get Thinking Men to really get some good value out of these kills on the attack to keep the game close in the end.
This was insane, Sierra. 2 OTs, who would have thought? The Thinking Men comeback, man.
I'm at this point, I'm not surprised. They pushed through, they persevered. There was some really, really crazy rounds happening in all of this. Honestly, Jen, I don't think I could have asked for anything more.
2 OTs converted by Thinking Men. Like, insane. And from a deficit, that Vance was like, oh, I don't know. That's some cope, Jen. That's one enemy remaining. But
Vance doesn't like fun.
I hate fun. I'm an old grumpy man where you try to have fun around me, I shut that down. I shut that down instantly. I hate Valorant. No, actually, I love Valorant. Please hire me more.
No, the biggest thing is you're not a believer. You're not a believer in what Thinking Men was pulling out here. That's the real problem here.
Hey, like I said, it had to come down to so many of these plays. I mean, Scrubble Bubble anchoring towards this A side, the 4Ks he's getting, the OTs that we saw plays from Lear. There was just so many, like, one angle position where it's just like, it looks like TWT is going to win this. And then suddenly you see one of these guys pop off, and then boom, it turns out in favor of Thinking Men in the end.
Honestly, the journey to get to this point was absolutely incredible. And looking back at all this, I just really want to reiterate the step up coming out from Scrubble Bubble, and not just this map, but over the entire series as well. So he was someone that, even in the map of Bind, was having a big step up, especially just how he was having some of these plays. The rounds that he was able to keep Thinking Men in because of how he played, I think was just absolutely so incredible. This really was an Astra map all around. I really do have to commend TWT on how they played as well. But
looks like yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say, I feel like Roy is on point with all of his predictions so far, right? Isn't he? Didn't he guess every single one perfectly so far? Roy,
I don't know.
Are you Lisa and Al-Gaib?
I'll let you math that one out here. But Jen, like, looking through this, like, this was such a big step up performance. This was needed for Thinking Men.
Yeah, put Scrubble on anything but a duelist and he'll frag like one. Like, his Omen on Bind went crazy. He's just clutching into a pit 1v3 to now he's on Astra on Bind and went crazy. 31 kills. I thought Scrubble just looked rough on Lotus, like on the Jet. I don't think it was this fall. He's just losing to Kanpeki, and that was tough for him to hold the A site, and he was getting first blooded. And then 2 maps later, he's having this comeback performance of his life to give his team the win.
It honestly, they're not out of the woods, but this is exactly what Thinking Men needed to have any semblance going on into this, to have any chance of staying out of the promotion and the regulation tournament. So it's fans to be able to see them kind of step up in this manner is nice. I also feel like it's overdue, because when I look back, I don't think this was a team that was, if this was a loss, worthy of a 0-5.
Exactly. I think if you're going to be Scoreboard Stevens, or you're just looking at VLR or any other type of like website where you get your information around esports and Valorant, you're just thinking, oh, well, M80 are undefeated. They're just like not dropping a single map, but they're close games that they're actually able to win. And then for the other ones, they're like 0-4, just like the Glazers, just like Thinking Men previously now, until they're now 1-4. They actually made these games a lot more closer than you would have expected with how the series or this stage has been going through. So it's not necessarily very top heavy anymore. It's just like, you got to pay attention to these games.
Yeah, there's a lot going on beyond just the scoreboard here for any scoreboard tallies out there. But hey, of course, we have to talk to the victorious team here. We're going to be having our post-series highlights, but make sure to be right back.
Player standing. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. remaining.
Trick shots.
One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy.
Enemy kill. One down.
My ultimate.
Seconds left. One enemy.
Satchel up.
One enemy remains.
Face your fear.
One enemy remains. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. Spike down. One enemy remaining. Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
No more
One
violence.
enemy. One enemy remaining.
Spike diffused.
B.
Attack is killed. Bye. Shooting. Be fast. Away.
Anchor.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
You're welcome.
Last
I broke your man.
spike down B.
Poison.
One enemy. A. Spike down A.
It took a bit, but finally, for Thinking Men and Thinking Men fans, we got a win on the board in just the most important of moments, making sure that they're not doomed to relegation quite yet. Fantastic series coming out, 2 overtimes as well, and I have Blair on the line to chat a little bit more about that. I have to say, first off, congratulations. I mean, how does it feel to finally be able to get this win under Thinking Men's belt?
Obviously, it feels great. There's a lot of like unlucky games in the beginning of the season that we should have closed out. But hey, I'm not 0-5 again this year, so at least there's that.
We look at the positives. Look at the positive, right?
Right.
And I don't think you or the team is deserving of an 0-5 anyways. It definitely came close to it, but looking back, like there has been close games. The team has been stepping up. So what do you think has been like the most crucial piece to not quite breaking through that ceiling?
I think for us, it was a lot of communication. We heavily focused on that, making sure we're all on the same page together. It's definitely something we lacked in the beginning of our season, but once we started to like drill that in, games started getting a lot closer, and then it's just those crucial moments that we had a hard time closing out.
I mean, games are definitely getting closer, and when we're looking at this series, I mean, these games are so close. Going into double overtime to just keep alive in this. I want to talk about the agents for those two maps, because looking back on Bind in the past, we got to see a Yoru coming out, and then we saw that swap off, and then we saw the Yoru make actually an appearance on freeze Reformed. So I'd love to know like why the up and downs on the Euros.
We've been testing new comps on a bunch of different maps. We knew going into this split, coming from open qualifiers, that we'd have a lot of game tape from our previous maps. So it was a lot of like trial and error with different comps on these various maps, and we kind of just picked whatever we liked the most and whatever fitted best into our playstyle, and happened to be Euro.
Hey, I mean, I always love some good Euro gameplay, so I'm here for it too. Another callback from the series. There is a huge step up here from Anderson, Scrubble Bubble. And I want to know too, for like the morale of the team, how important those step ups were, because there were some rounds that were clutched by his hands.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just say Andy only. I believe everyone on the team really stepped up, especially like from the beginning of the season. Andy definitely, out of most, like took over a lot of maps and, won us like huge rounds. But I definitely want to make sure I shout out like, the rest of my team. They've been working really hard and diligently, and, they all deserve the best, to be honest.
Hey, great leadership coming out from you. So that's definitely some good stuff here. We'll get back on the good vibes of it all. The team celebrating at the end. I believe in the player cams, we saw Paint like screaming and yelling. Was there any words like, what is he screaming? Or is it just generic, like happy screams?
Yeah, Amari is our Paint, is like our energy guy. He's always coming in, screaming, yelling, making sure the vibes are in check. So, that's what you guys got a taste of, in the cams.
Hey, I mean, I'm hoping for a little bit more of it going on forward. I got my fingers crossed for you and the team, Lear, that hopefully things go your guys' way tomorrow. We can see you out of promotion and regulation, but congratulations again on this one, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. As for us, I mean, definitely a fantastic series to be ending off today, but I have to bring Jen and Vans back one more time to kind of recap it all. As much as we'd all like to talk to Lear more, we got to bring back these two fools, all right?
Thinking men! Thinking men! Thinking men!
Energy has changed from I don't think they can win to thinking men.
I honestly, if there was the merch, I would have expected Vans to like all of a sudden have it, be like wearing the Thinking Men shirt, have the hats, have like the foam finger as well. Totally converted.
100%. 100%. That's what we're missing. What do I have here? Actually, I have a Shopify Rebellion Crocs pin. That's all I have. Maybe that's
a thinking hat on.
I do have a thinking hat, but this is not a light bulb. This is, I don't know what this is.
All right,
I don't watch hockey.
Nah, this is all right. We're going away from the hat. No, we still got to talk about Thinking Men, because this was the first step for them to avoid that promotion regulation tournament. But it's not quite that simple. The win was definitely the first step they needed here, Vans, but that comes with an asterisk next to it.
Exactly. So now you have to focus on what is on the right side of the column, right? Because the final victory that we've gotten here for Thinking Men is 2-1. So now they have to watch in the silence, wait to what happens tomorrow between the Glazers and Winthrop to see if Glazers win 2-0. This becomes a three-way tie where now how many rounds are going to be in the tiebreaker? I mean, it's difficult, right? Because Thinking Men just won 2 maps in overtime, which doesn't give you that many round differentials. So it's not an easy task right now for, the Thinking Men to make it through to the mid-season cup, and may still get relegated. It just really depends on who's performing between Glazers and Winthrop tomorrow.
It's tough, right? But when we go down to the final week, sometimes it's going to be on the wire like that. And the fact that we have so many teams on that wire, taking a look at our standings, Jen, I think is just absolutely insane. I mean, the stakes could not be higher in this week 5 for our teams.
It's just been cool to see anyone at the bottom of the ladder really step up and shake up that midsection too, because like TSM had like a surprising loss, Oxygen had a surprising loss, Thinking Men got a win at the end, Glazers, maybe their first win could be tomorrow, who knows? It's just, yes, it's top heavy with MAD and Moist Shopify dominating, but everything else has been a big question mark, and it's been so exciting, and everyone's predictions are thrown into the garbage. So even the core comeback in the late stage of the split has been awesome to watch.
I think the only thing I got right on my predictions is the MXS win. I think I am 1 for 4 right now in my predictions. It is
insane.
It ain't going good out here, but it's exciting. So I'm definitely, you know what? I'll take that loss here. Of course, this is only the second day of Challengers. We still have one more day and a lot on the line here. Of course, we're going to be kicking it off with M80 going up against Turtle Troop. And maybe these teams, it's, you know, it's not going to be relegation for them. But Vans, we are looking at still points. And that's going to be super important once we get later on in the year.
Exactly, because thinking about it in the long run again, if you've missed the top of show, is top 8 out of the circuit points that you get from stage 1 and stage 2 go to the playoffs. So there is no like, oh, we're qualifying into a playoff kind of thing. You're trying to win as many circuit points as you can so the top 8 can make it across. So for M80, it doesn't matter if you're going to be 4-1 in the season or whatnot. What you're trying to do is maximize the amount of points that you can get. And again, it doesn't matter. Oh, I lost my cam, but it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm back. Hello. I mean, it's like, hello, Mike. I'm like having fun with my kid. Hey, I'm back. Anyways, yeah, it just matters that you're winning these games so you maximize the amount of circuit points you can get. So an important game still for M80 tomorrow.
Yeah, and then stop it, guys. Stop. I have to say as well, of course, the final game of tomorrow, the Glazers going up against Winthrop University, has repercussions for all of our teams facing this regulation promotion tournament. So definitely a day that you cannot miss. But that is going to be it for today. Thank you everyone so much for watching, production for being awesome, casters for almost making it through to the end. You guys were so close, but whatever this was, you kind of tossed a little bit there. But make sure to be tuning back in tomorrow for the final day here of stage 1. We'll see you real soon. Yeah.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Remaining. 10 seconds left. One enemy. Get out. One enemy remaining. Oh yeah! Attackers win. One enemy remaining. Spike down, B. One enemy remaining.
Loosen up.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Enemy remaining. Attackers win. Player standing. One enemy. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Left. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Trick shots.
One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy.
Enemy kill. One down.
My ultimate.
Seconds left. One enemy. enemy remaining. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. Spike down. One enemy remaining. Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
No more
One enemy. One enemy remaining.
Spike diffused.
B.
That is no good. Bye. Shooting. Be fast. Away. Nice. Boom.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
You're welcome.
Last
I broke jump.